Hello there, guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Back again.
It's me, Jerry, or whatever you want to call me. And we are back with a really nice sim racing video. At least I don't know what this is. And this time we're in the DTM 2016 at Hockenheim, and I barely know this track.
Wait a minute!
Okay, I know this track pretty well. It's my most driven track, and with car, I love this combo. I just used to drive it in competition, and yeah, I think that's the only competition I actually hunted. And yeah, I only managed to qualify P5 after nearly 2 days with this car on this track. Yeah. And somehow I managed to get a decent start. Normally when I start on the ranked servers or general, I just lose at least 2 positions if I have a good start. If I have a bad start, I lose 5 to 10 positions. In this case, I haven't lost a single one. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I was happy with that. After such a long break, I was back and in the top 5. And the top 5 were only separated by, I think, 3 or 4 tenths of a second. And then there was a gap of half a second behind me to the 6th place, and then came the rest slowly. But yeah, it was really close times at the front, and I knew I had a little more pace in me. I can't even talk anymore. But at the first lap I already lost a little bit of touch with them. I was taking it a bit easy because I didn't really remember how the car felt when the tires were cold and so on. I'm just getting my excuses out here. And yeah, that's nearly the first lap done. I was happy that I was able to complete the first lap without spinning, without really major troubles. I'm just sticking to the back of the 4th place car. The DRS helped me on the straight to get back at the back of him. And then I spun. And of course I hit the wall completely straight on with my car. And because it looked so cool, here's another angle. And you can just see that I put my car onto the curb and I just bottom out, and then And now my good starting position of 5th is down the drain, and I rejoin in 12th place. But the Audi behind me has a lot more speed, goes around my outside, and I'm down into 13th. I tried to go around the outside of him in the next corner, but I just went in too deep and dropped another 2 positions. And because I went into the gravel, I'm slower, and the guy behind me, next Audi, just gets past, and I'm into 16th position. But at least it can't really get that much worse. I know I have more pace than the guys in front, and I just need to get my head down. Look, that damage isn't too bad, it just was barely orange. And onto the straight I can already make up to 1 position back into 15th place, because the Audi went a little bit too wide, and I just got the better line, got DRS open, and I'm back into 15th position. So actually the first step back to the podium. I'm in top 5. No, top 10? I don't know. I noticed that I already have a small gap to the Audi behind me. Basically he can't attack me because I'm too far ahead. I can just brake normally into the next corner, get on the throttle, but on the exit my enemy evades and I spin again. And you can see that another Audi basically makes the same mistake, but he can point it in the right direction. I am in the wrong direction and need to spin my car around. Luckily I managed to do that first try, but I lose another position to the sister car and am now into P22. And I get nearly taken out by the BMW behind me. I didn't even notice that during the race. I was just so focused on the guy in front of me and I wanted to make up a position, wanted to get ahead, that I didn't even notice the guy in the mirror just completely going straight on and nearly taking me out. And into this left-hander, I moved to the inside because it completely caught me off guard how early he was braking. I was still accelerating completely on the throttle and he was already braking. So I just ran onto the brake and moved to the left hand side because otherwise I would have been in his back bumper and onto the straight. I'm already next to him in the last corner and then on the straight I already get past him even before the finish line. The downside is I don't have DRS to pull away from him. But luckily there's a slight pace advantage from my side. Because I nearly have 2 days on this track with this car. And 2 laps later I catch up to the 2 guys fighting for P19. The number 17 isn't really that fast through this part. And I knew that he was probably also braking really early for this corner. So I sent it up his inside and made the move. And from that angle it looked really bad, but here's another angle.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Okay, it didn't really look that much better, but at least you can see that I was with my front wheels next to his back wheels at the turning point. And the camera shot looked really cool. I wanted to use it. But onto the next guy. Onto the start-finish straight, I get a way better exit and then I'm closing up onto his rear. And on the next right-hander I get also a way better line. I'm right at the back of him, open my DRS and just go down his inside and we are at the turning point. We're basically next to each other. He tries to go around my inside. I hold back a little bit because I know I have DRS. And on the straight I can just breathe past him and that's exactly what I'm doing here. On the outside of the parabolica I move past him and before the end of the parabolica I'm already ahead of him and can just move back to the racing line and go about my day and catch up to the next guys. After my 2 spins and the 1 little off that I had at the start of the race, I drove really perfectly. I think I didn't really make mistakes or so. Okay, who put that in? I pay you guys to make me look good. What? We're getting paid? Okay, moving on. So I'm now at the back of the next 3 or 4 guys, I think. And trying to overtake them and the last 2 right-handers. It's not 3. I get a way better run again. And onto the straight, I'm moving to the right hand side to see if he gets a little bit, I don't know, to make him nervous. And he gets a little bit nervous, he runs a little bit right on the first corner. I open the RS and go to the inside, but I only say hello. I don't go for the move. But he goes quite far to the outside to give me room. I didn't really plan to on the move, but I knew I have DRS and he doesn't have DRS. At least I think he doesn't have DRS because he's a little bit too far back to the guys in front. And here I nearly get taken out by a backmarker, but luckily he saw me coming and moved back out of the line. And now I'm back up into I think 18th and one guy in front spins his car on the exit of the hairpin. I don't know how I managed to spin your car on the exit of the hairpin. Couldn't be me. And again I'm sitting behind the guy in front to the last 2 corners just thinking,
Get out the way, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
I know, kinda mean, but most people were just so slow through the 2 last corners. And on the straight I get right at the back of him. Sadly I don't have the speed to overtake him on the straight, but into the next right-hander I go up his inside and basically the same as the move before. I go to the inside, show basically my car to the inside, and they just brake later than they normally would, run a little bit more right, and on the straight I overtake them then. It took me a little bit longer to overtake him, but even before the braking zone I'm ahead of him. And that was the last overtake I did. It was for 15. Yeah, normal people call it P15, I say 15. I hope you guys enjoyed this race more than I did, because this pretty much sums up how I felt after the race. But enough with that, see you next time.